Dear Magnificent, dear Rector of University, dear Professor Crossan, Excellency, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I have been here 30 years ago, and it was, again, like a love from the first glance, wonderful university, especially when you come from Cambridge. There is so much in common. Also, I'm here to tell you the story of Armenia and Armenian universities as well. This wonderful university was created in 1386 and has lasted all of these years, creating huge success, history, more than 50 Nobel Prize winners, professors, research institutes. In 1373, we had one of our famous universities also created in Armenia, in Tatev. But that university, again created by famous scientists, philosophers, specialists on legal issues, but it lasted only 70 years because they were destroyed by invaders and so on. That's about importance where you are and when you are. Armenia is a crossroad of civilizations, and we had to face the reality that we're on the borders of different civilizations, different faiths, different beliefs, and different ideas, different religions. It's 21st century. The world is changing. It's changing dramatically. So, welcome to the new world. This new world is beautiful. I'm trying to give you sort of a taste of this new world because I'm really enjoying it. Enjoying because, as we were speaking with the rector, that it reminds me times of Renaissance, or it reminds me early 20th century when there were huge discoveries in physics. There were so many questions, and where people were coming with known standard theories and ideas and resolving problems. The 21st century, especially now, is going to be a century because of the merger of interaction, interconnection, science, technology, and the new ways of education. I think the excitement of discovery is going to be huge. And that excitement of discovery will also be applied to social and political life and entertainment in the new world of 21st century. Of course, then a simple conclusion. What is there in this new world for a small country like Armenia? I think, to put it in a Twitter form, there is a huge world for Armenia in the new world. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's a small nation, truly global. I mean, there are 3, 4, maybe 5 times more Armenians living abroad. We are strongly interconnected. This is a nation where for ages education mattered. We are people that have, because we lived on the crossroads of different civilizations, cultures, and religions, and we had to learn how to survive. And this is another quality that in the 21st century for social behavior is very important, because if you are speaking about the new world of startups, you have to be very dynamic. You have to adapt very quickly to the new circumstance. You have to find the solution immediately. You don't have the time of 3 or 5 years. You have to make your decision today. You have to make it immediately. So adapting to the new circumstance is another quality, which is also the same quality of being a survivor in the new world. In the new world of politics, of development, of business, you have to be a survivor. So what is there for Armenia? I mean, a country that doesn't have huge natural resources. We have enough. I think we have a very good school of science and technology, which was developed more than 100 years ago. We have a huge culture, which is a Christian culture, of valuing the same art, science, human behavior. We are survivors. And in this new world, at the end of the day, is the time for us to show that small can be beautiful. We are a nation and a state that has this wonderful opportunity now to build a new country in the new world based on the power of knowledge, discovery, and the quality of innovation and education. Armenia has a good tradition of natural sciences, starting from astrophysics. A small country has a particle accelerator, electron-positron accelerator, observatory, plasma physics center, and so on and so forth. Nuclear power plant, and so on and so forth. I do believe that we can do a lot together. And in the new world, the new Armenia, because Armenia has to be new, because the world is new. And I think there are so many ways that we can work together with Germany, and specifically with Heidelberg. And that the focus of all of that cooperation should be focusing on the future, on the new technologies, on the science, technology, education, and the new forms that we can invent together or help each other. Yes, indeed, we have good mathematicians that can be helpful in artificial intelligence, which we are doing now. Yes, indeed, we can work together on life sciences as well. Yes, indeed, we can look at the possibilities of doing more further research in physics and mathematics. And please use the Armenian Global Network, because when I speak Armenia, I don't mean only Armenians that live in Armenia, 3.5 million. I mean all of the professors, researchers, businessmen that all over the world, around 15 million of them. I really have an idea and a mission to make Armenia small but a very successful science technology country. And the way forward is going together with friends. And I consider Heidelberg as a friend. And I'm looking forward to build bridges between Armenian universities or Armenian-related universities and researchers with Heidelberg, and do maximum what I can do in order to make this cooperation reality. Thank you very much.
My name is Naili Began, and I work and live here in Heidelberg as an audio engineer. I know some engineers will hate me for saying this, but sorry. And first of all, I hope you get better with your cold. We need you.
I hope to.
My question is as follows. When you say small is good, and the small ingenuity of small groups bringing up good ideas and big ideas, my question is, what role should the government play in implementing ways for these small groups to be more independent, to have more freedom in their innovations, let's say? What role should or does the government have in this aspect?
I think we have enough independence in Armenia. There's so much excitement now. I don't think there were any restrictions before. I think the reality is how we can help these young people. And for that, in this case, we need some infrastructure and support. Infrastructure and support in this case, I mean, if you have startups, at the end of the way for a classical startup is to have a startup, a seed support, and then if the right environment, then you go to the venture. And the venture support you and they push you up. I think we have to create the right environment for a global Armenian and Armenia-related community of startups, and not only startups, but science, technology, and education, that they can benefit. So this is what we have to do, to create the environment when they will succeed. Otherwise, what will happen, and that will happen not only in Armenia, the great talent will start migrating to the place. Ideas and young people are liquid. They will move to the places where they'll find their ideas and their innovation basically executed. What I want to do, because the world is at the end of the day, is a small place. You don't have physically to go to California or Silicon Valley. Being in Armenia, you have to be a part of that Silicon Valley process and be successful. This is what we have to create in Armenia.
Thank you very much, President, for your most interesting speech. I'm Jochen Frover, and former director of the Max Planck Institute for Public International Law here in Heidelberg. I had the privilege visiting your beautiful country, invited by a former young researcher from Armenia at our institute, who's, I think, doing well. You may even know him by the name of Muradian. My question concerns the unfortunate political situation existing in your surroundings, namely the so-called frozen conflict concerning Nagorno-Karabakh. What is your view on how these problems could be solved, hopefully peacefully?
I was saying that small is beautiful. That's true. But in this world of quantum behavior, small can be also dangerous, because small can have big power. And a frozen conflict in a small place, which is called Nagorno-Karabakh, or we call it Republic of Artsakh, until it's resolved, it could become one day dangerous if not managed well. For me, there is no other way rather than to have a peaceful resolution of this conflict. Any other way will be completely destructive for everybody. I think, and it's not about how much powerful you are, how much money you are spending on buying arms, how big is your army. The place is a focus of many interests. If you look at that, we are born, and for centuries we lived in an environment where there is a real concentration of interests, power, challenge, and it's a real crossroad of different civilizations. Look around what's happening. Syria is not very far. Middle East is not very far. It's Iran today. It's Azerbaijan, Georgia, Armenia. It's Turkey, Russia. Anything, even small, starting, destabilizing the system will be very destructive. So there is only one way forward, which is the peaceful resolution of the conflict. And I hope that conflict resolution will be based on common sense and will be based on the human values. And in this case, in my understanding, these are the rights of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh. I hope the solution, final solution, will be, at the end of the day, addressing the human rights of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh.
I feel quite privileged being here today, listening to you. I'm an Armenian living in Heidelberg for 40 years. You showed to us in a very effective and excellent manner the positive sides of the international, global interconnectivity, its advantages and how it is a chance for us, Do you see also any negative aspects of global interconnectivity, and what would you recommend, or what effective tools do they do in Armenia to overcome any negative interconnectivity problems, if there are any, in your opinion?
The world is much more complex. We're speaking about interconnectivity. When you are a global, let's say, nation, what you can have, for example, from just an Armenian side, you can have huge number of Armenians that live abroad, away from Armenia, having huge influence on the country, while not living there. Okay? Those who live there and those who don't live, they are the same nation, but they live in different environments. So interconnectivity has many faces, both positive and negative one. But it's always the case. And first days because interconnectivity is also real and virtual, a tool at the end of the day. Globalization, industrial scientific revolution, the human creativity, the role of education and all of that. At the end of this very, very long chain that I can continue comes one important factor called morality. Okay? If you don't have the human morality, not German morality, not Armenian morality, human morality. If you don't have the morality, then all of these factors, be that in education, you will educate wrong people. You will create the wrong startups and the wrong ideas. your technological advances will become weapons instead of becoming tools of advancement and so on and so forth. So among all of this chain, there is a simple truth that we are human. And there should be something that at the end of the day must be absolutely important. So whatever we do should have human common sense and should have a morality and sort of a soul or a heart, whatever you call it, in the foundations of what we are doing. Otherwise, we are capable of doing bad things. And it doesn't matter who you are, what nationality. So it should be human.